back to school. Under Armour knows that means you're also getting back to practicing hard and breaking records with your team. Gear up to be your best in class or on the field at UnderArmour.com today. Tap the banner to shop.
Okay, so what do you do when your old laptop takes forever to boot up? You can count ceiling tiles instead of working. Or you can just stare off into space and wonder, are eyebrows considered facial hair? That's why it's switching time to a Chromebook that boots up as fast as 6 seconds. So you can get to work faster. And if you're still wondering about eyebrows, you can just look that up because your new Chromebook is ready to go. So if you want to boot up as fast as 6 seconds, switch to Chromebook. Boot up speed varies depending on device.
Hello, mates. This is Captain Crunch. If crunch berries are a fusion of crunch and berryness, which came first, the Berrylicious Crunch or the Crunchalicious Berry? The Crunch is calling. Try my Crunch Berry cereal.
Then what we probably could do is just say, yeah, just you don't have to have a tram, and you can just put buses as much as you want outside.
I think that's fine. I was planning on applying that, or I was thinking we would apply that anyway.
Okay, so
basically,
assuming nothing changes,
Well,
and the same as us.
Well, just classifying them the same for internal stuff. There is a comment about potentially wanting to apply this to monorails and other stuff within cities.
Um,
Well, I haven't really seen any monorails.
Yeah.
If monorails were prevalent and someone sent in a proposal specifically about monorails
Toro.
and made a case for it, then I'd be.
If you look at, if you look at the second comment in there,
I think monorails are probably fine. It's just basically just a train with one it's
one rail instead of two.
Yeah. It'd be fine. I don't see a problem with that.
I don't really think it's that big a deal, so I'll just go with what everyone else is going for.
Okay, so sounds like 5A is approved, and monorails are included in that as well, just for simplicity's sake. Yes. Yeah. Okay, who is doing minutes?
I'll do it.
Not me.
Not HP. Okay, thank you, Frumple. Okay, 5A, yes for trams and monorails. 5B.
So John G has submitted a Memorial Park and 7th anniversary tour. I believe I've talked over with the chief a little bit, where the Memorial Park really doesn't need approval, because if you just want to build a Memorial Park in Central City, you can just claim a plot and do so. The more point that needs staff approval would be the 7th anniversary tour, which is basically saying that John G is specifically requesting for us to have staff help check the books and the validity of the information.
Is this similar to the one that God's made?
I'm not sure, because he doesn't specify if it's like a physical tour that you can walk around a route, or if there's buttons that you can press, like teleport you to some place. That's not clarified on the email, at least from what I've seen.
Is John G online?
He is on Do Not Disturb.
Because we do have we have the old world ones, so we can have a direct comparison. Say, are you planning to do it like that? So if we could contact him, we could ask him.
Well, John G is here with us. or he was, but now he's gone. Well,
My question is more or less the selection of these cities. Like, is it gonna be random or?
yeah, I think that's a good
I
point.
feel like some people who didn't. I think someone else brought this up, but I feel like some people who didn't have their town selected would feel left out of the tour or whatnot.
Yeah.
Right, that's
feel
what I was
like-
asking about selection.
I don't know. Well, it depends on how you define the history or whatever. But like the thing, I don't know. I don't see that as such a major issue because I mean, I don't know.
I think the bigger issue here is just that it's whether or not staff want to be involved in checking the validity of the information or not. Because the thing is, if we do not want to do that or don't want to take that burden on, Janji can still theoretically do this tour just without staff. And I guess if it was planning on doing a physical tour, he definitely would not need staff assistance on that either.
I know for me personally, I don't mind helping. Like, considering just wherever.
I
can help.
don't mind helping either.
Like I think staff can help, but it's like I don't think it would really need to be like a big formal thing. It's like John G can like check to see if like the highway connections are correct. And it's like most mayors like of towns like don't have any reason to lie about their own town.
Yeah.
So we just have to make sure that like inner city connections are fine. But that's like something anyone could do. So it's like honestly we don't really need formal support, but I mean like staff can help if they want to.
Honestly, well, me and Cece, I don't mind helping. Honestly, the only thing I'd want to ask John G is like how he wants to set it up. If he wants to do it like something like centralized out of Spawn with like how it is on the old world, or kind of his own thing with just his he gives to
the two other things would be if he was. Well, I guess the three other things would be: one would be if he was planning to do the warp thing like from Spawn, you'd have to create a system how to select those cities, and that would definitely need to be clarified beforehand. Two is that it's while staff can do help, it's also if we do want to make it like an official thing or call it like a staff endorsed thing versus like something else. And then three, probably need to change the name because the 7th anniversary has passed a while ago. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, what in terms of like the criteria for including cities on that, is there anything in particular that, because I know that we definitely would want, how would we future-proof it, I guess is my question. Because
I think
like
I think that there's not enough detail about what staff need to do for us to approve this as staff as it is right now.
I'm completely in favor of the concept. We just kind of need to see more of what he wants to do with it.
Oh, sorry. Please note we missed out on. There's a quick side note at the bottom that does say he does want the tour to be done via A or B, does not via Warps via Spawn. So, I mean, theoretically, if he wants to just have if he wants to feature X, Y, and Z towns, he can just ask permission for those town mayors and just kind of, put stuff in their towns if he doesn't want to go through staff. But if he does want staff help, he does need to kind of lay out more what his plans are to choose what cities and etc.
I don't know. I don't mind helping him with that. I'm not. It just seems like something he'll. To me, it just sounds like a little he'll make little guides of jumping between towns and then have a little bit of history on each one. Which honestly, I don't mind helping with. I feel like there's a few staff who wouldn't mind helping with that.
I think there's definitely stuff that will help. It's just I think more the question of, do we if we do say it's do we want to basically start this is an official server thing, and if so we would need more we would need more details on how these towns would be selected. I think that's a fair enough request.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'd say so as well.
So I guess for Rumple in the minute, I think it's the park he can just kind of do by himself, right? Was what we said.
Yeah.
And for the what's it called? For the other one, if he does want to get it officially staffed thing, he'll probably need to submit another proposal to make it more clear what his criteria for choosing towns are. But if he doesn't want that, he can just do it himself and get permission from the towns along the way.
Yeah, and I think
if we can get in contact with him by the end of the GSM, which might not actually be that long, so maybe another proposal. But if he does get in contact or in like the GSM channel before we could maybe go, we could maybe jump back to this and just go, okay, yeah, we understand now, approved, or
Yeah, that makes sense. I think the big thing. I think the big thing is, figuring that out, and also like what he needs the staff approval for. Because if he's just looking for our blessing to make it an official thing, I mean, he's certainly welcome to make a tour route of his own.
So clarification, I guess, would be what we would need.
Yeah, because again, like I have no problem with even just building a wiki page that. I mean, the simplest way to do it would be just make a wiki page that just lists a bunch of towns and directions between them, just to kind of give a tour of the world. But if he wanted to do something kind of in world that's modifying roads or whatever he wants to do, then I think if he has ideas of the things that he needs from us, then we can proceed from there. But as of right now, I don't. Yeah, as of right now, the Memorial Park is fine. So
yeah,
I think that's it.
I agree.
Okay, 5C.
All right.
Okay, this is gonna be a little more thing, maybe. We're not on the same page.
Step 1 is decode whatever the hell 0x and Tom put in there.
Well, what 0x says...
0x makes sense.
Yeah. 0x basically is wondering if buses can go on boats, and then Tom Pears argues that basically says that, we should go on trains, but not boats. But then I think Automatic talked to...
No, it's not what I say.
Then I don't understand what you mean.
What do you mean?
Please explain yourself.
Okay, so they were asking. So in the original email, they were asking if buses could go on boats.
Right.
Yeah.
As a water ferry, and I was making note that if before I went to Switzerland this year, I would have said no, but the fact that I rode a bus on a train through the mountains makes me think that it could possibly happen. And then so the thought would have been, okay, I'm for all of this. They have both buses on boats and buses on trains, but the concern of possibly using the ferry as the bus routes, that there's multiple, that one bus would have multiple ports it goes to go. So you take one bus up through a ferry and then go to various stops and then come back on the ferry, go to another port, make more stops, and just jumping around. So I would like to limit the number of stops the ferry itself does to just point A to point B and back, which normally, not all, but because I was talking to Otto about this later, normally not all ferries do is just one point A to point B, and the same as this train I rode, well, the bus rode when I ran over, or riding on the bus, riding on a train.
Tom, you do know that branch lines do exist, right?
What's that?
You do know that branch lines and stuff do exist.
Yeah.
So it's not, if you're thinking from a realism standpoint, it's not entirely unheard of for a route to split and to have the same route number that goes to multiple spots, even if it's considered the same direction.
So what do we want from this proposal? Like, what's the...
asking if they
like, what are we allowing and what are we not allowing?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically whether or not buses can go on trains and boats. I mean, in my opinion, I think just to be like simplistic, we could just say, honestly, I'm just kind of on the position of like, just kind of just be like, probably not, just to make it clear, because like, if, I don't know, in my mind, it's just like, just keep simple, I would just say no.
Honestly, I don't really see too much purpose for it, if I'm being completely honest, because like you could just take a bus, like on the server, like.
And yeah, you could just have
realistic. You could just take a bus to a ferry or a train stop, take the ferry or the train, and then continue on the bus and start and like get on another bus.
I think that Yeah, that's I think what I was gonna say too. That's where like you could just take there's a bus at the boat stop, and then you can just take the
yeah,
bus
if there's
at the
already
other
a
boat
boat
stop.
doing that route, why have a bus on the boat just to?
Yeah.
It would be a vehicle.
Yes.
Basically, the bus would be on a vehicle ferry.
Yeah, I know, but what
Like
we're
you- like going
saying is,
from-
why?
What's the
If
difference?
there's already a boat doing that route, why have?
Yeah.
What's
have
the
the
purpose
bus.
of a bus being on there?
The bus route would use the ferry to.
Yeah, we
to-
we
No, we get
understand
that.
that, but like,
Yeah.
what's the point?
If
Like-
say, all right, so there's a bus stop on Solan. I think I'm saying that right.
Yeah, but why
Seal
can't you get
Land.
off the bus and transfer to
And-
the boat?
So basically, I think the ultimate thing is they want to do a warp bus from on an island to somewhere mainland using the ferry as instead of having a very long bridge or something.
Well, no, we get that, but we're saying
No, we get that.
Yeah.
What we're saying
What if
is,
you-
if there's already a boat making that route, why can't you just say, why can't you just take a warp as a boat and then transfer onto a bus on the mainland?
Well, I mean, other than cost.
Of 10 cents.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Yes, the cost of the
Well,
same.
it'd be
Well, no, you could say that the cost would be cheaper because.
But it's also like so minuscule that I'm not sure if it's relevant.
Yeah, it's a pretty minuscule expense, and plus I don't see it happening like too often.
Well, the thing is with buses, I don't see why it would really be a problem because they're like if we did allow this, I don't see what problems it creates for buses. I agree with Otto that the only real issue is I could see it going a little nuts with trains.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is,
Which
I think we can. What people can just do now is just have a bus stop next to the train station, next to the boat, wherever the boat stops, and just take the bus from there. Because you need the same requirements. You need the same requirements in that you need a road from either side. So like it's not like it's really that different. That the bus you just kind of have to have the bus at the boat stop, or like a bus stop at the boat stop.
Like if you build a town on an island, you're implicitly acknowledging the fact that you're probably not going to have a direct road connection to your town. Like,
yeah. Well, I'm
I
saying.
don't know how else to put that. Like, if you're on an island, you just this is kind of the same with the seaplanes thing. If you're next to the coast, you get to reap the benefits of an ocean. If you're on an island, I don't know.
There's benefits and drawbacks to
Yeah.
any location. So
exactly.
Yeah, and I think there's no real difference from having just like a bus stop at each end of the boat line.
So I think on GSM discussion, actually, Kitty was asking that if someone wants to not make people transfer, like, why shouldn't they be allowed to do that?
I think it's just like so it's for simplicity's sake.
I don't understand how it's simpler to just disallow something arbitrarily when
I meant for like
wouldn't create
rule-wise.
issues.
I meant rule-wise rather.
Otto's asking, what about ferries on major B roads between towns when they cross rivers or canals?
Because, I mean, the complexities of it come in,
Involved.
like, oh, do we require the ferries that the buses have to be on be able to facilitate the size of the buses? And then if there is a bus route going between islands and mainland, if like the islands and the mainland actually have like a road to the ferry, and if those towns on the mainland are connected, and it's much more easy to see roads on Dynmap than visualizing water connections on boats and seeing how those networks work. It's much harder to make sure if warps are coherent with infrastructure.
I mean, you can just take the bus.
Yeah, but no. Yes,
What?
but no, because it's the gaps in between the warps which are a pain to check. And if you're then suddenly trying to put oceans into that equation, and then it, like, if you had like a ferry loading dock that's quite far from a town, then it's quite a check to figure out if these warps are valid.
Yeah.
I just don't see the point, honestly.
It would raise a lot of weird questions. It would raise a lot of different questions, even though honestly, it's functionally speaking, it's like not really like enough to justify. Like, it doesn't bring enough benefit to like justify just the pain of dealing with it.
Yeah, I would just say I think probably not because like you can do the same purpose with a.
Mhm.
Is that everything good then?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so then that sounds like this is going to be a no then for simplicity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. 5C is a no. 5D.
If you haven't read this yet,
Auto. So Auto is asking us to take the 2 rule changes. The proposal did not make the second one very clear, but but Auto is asking to reverse the 2 rules that we set, that we delayed the effective date, which are that warps need to go on the outside of vehicles and the limit on number of warps per vehicle. Yeah. So I interpreted his proposal as just concerning the placement of warps, not the count. But apparently,
no, it's everything.
Yeah, apparently it's everything. This would apply to any land-based vehicle, or actually specifically anything that's not planes and helicopters. So
not planes, helicopters, or seaplanes.
Right. Thoughts?
I mean, I think it's fine because
Yeah,
it does. There are valid points brought up. I did help him partially write this, to be fair, but I think that when talking to him, he did bring up valid points about how it is tedious for many real companies, and I think the big point is that we probably will get an incident like we did in the air industry, is since like those type of gates aren't really that limited per city, and there's not a large demand for them. And if it does, we can always cross that bridge when we get.
Yeah, I don't think every single mode of transportation should be regulated via one part of that.
Okay. So then the response to that is, do we still think that there should be some kind of limits at all, or are we just completely thinking we want to just remove them entirely?
I think we should just remove them entirely at this point, and if it does become a problem, then we can address it again.
So, wait,
Because last time I checked, like, we only had problems with planes.
It was air, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
And there's nothing to stop you, because they're like with a plane, it is like actually taking up resources to put another plane next to a plane. Whereas like
other ones
usually you can just put another bus next to a bus, and that's not really space.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, another advantage of that is it makes the definition bit on the website a lot simpler to deal with. So
yeah. So I guess approved.
May I ask which specific limitations are you lifting for non-air?
So the placement of warps. So as long as they're on or in the vehicle, because the prime example that I'm thinking of is Mike 24 dude with NSC, because Network South Central he does the warps on the side of the train. They're still attached to the physical train, but they're not on the inside. And then so removing that and allowing warps to stay on the outside. The other is
it's the warp limit number,
allowing more than 6 warps per vehicle.
But usually that doesn't happen anyway, so I don't think it'll be a problem for that one.
I actually just had the small buses I had at AT. I had more than 6 warps in several of them. I did go through and made a duplicate bus on the route so that way I can limit it down to 5 per bus. So it does happen. The quantity of it probably is not as high, but
we're more saying like it's a rare enough occasion where it doesn't really justify us having to limit everything.
Also,
and when it does happen, I don't really see it's a problem, because I don't see what the point in AT of making Tom have 2 buses next to each other that used to be served by one bus and essentially go to the same.
Well, no, they're not next to each other. I just put a second bus on the route, on like a halfway point of the route. So there's 2 of that bus, but one's on one side of the town, the other route one's on the other side. But I mean, it does happen. The fact that I think one almost had 10 stops on it. But I would say if we want to do a warp on the outside, I would limit that to maybe 1. and then have whatever can fit on the inside.
I disagree with that because that's even harsher than the rules we have now. I think that I disagree.
Well, I mean,
think
you can
it's
have more than one on the inside. It's just
well, no, that's the rules we have currently
I think-
now.
I think
that's
the
just that's
well, no, the current rule is
overcomplicating
that
it.
we don't have. The current rule is that you're not allowed to have any warps on the outside.
No, the current rule is if you don't have a vehicle, you
That
can have
is-
2 warps on the outside. You can have
Well,
2
he's
warps outside.
correct.
2 warps on the bus.
I mean,
Oh,
on
you
the
mean
You're not
bus,
allowed.
that
Well,
would
no,
be
the current
before-
rule is you're not allowed warps on the outside unless it's a bus, and then
Then
I'll
they
add
can go
there's
on the
GSM
bus.
trams, and then it's 2. But so yeah.
So this is asking to get rid of that limit entirely.
Please keep in mind of how this would be enforced.
I think it's more of just I think especially since it's hard to enforce that, I would say that I think that it's fine if we revert back to what we had, just so clarifying, like basically reverting back to what we had, and the only rule we basically just have is that you don't have to have a bus there to have you don't have to have a bus at bus stops to have warps. Like that's really the only restriction.
Yeah,
that
we're
we had.
maintaining that one, and that's actually easing ones.
Yeah, that
so
one.
Yeah.
That and obviously that they have to have an actual connection. But those,
Right.
I think, those would be basically the only rules we'd have for trains. Well, trains. It was trains, the boats, and
planes need to be present.
and buses. Yeah.
But buses and trams and single city stuff doesn't need to. So
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I would,
Okay,
I
so
would just add a little language saying it would be nice to have one on the route.
I think
I
that's
don't think-
fine to have.
I don't.
yeah, to-
Well, I don't
to
think
make-
we should imply that it's nice to have something because it's either we have to have rules that say you can or cannot do this. We shouldn't say like it would be nice to have this. I think that creates a gray area that's unclear in the rules.
I mean, we can say it is not a requirement to have vehicles present, but you may wish to. So,
Yeah.
but
yeah, I think that's better wording.
yeah, and just make it clear, it's at your discretion, and it doesn't help or hurt either way. Okay, so sounds like that's going to be 5D. We are reverting both of those,
Yes.
and that will be effective immediately.
Or bus.
For buses, trams, trains, and boats.
I put it. I've lumped them in as non-air vehicles.
Non-air vehicles.
That counts. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, 5D approved. That means
Okay.
we skip 5.
I'm also going to interject. We are half an hour in, so just
Cool. Okay.
Probably the rest of these are going to be pretty quick too. So
These should be quick. Okay. 6, we are skipping no lines. 7A, B58 from San Ventino to Dan.
It's gonna be such a fast GSM. Wow.
Wow.
don't jinx
Wow.
it.
Okay. This looks like a pretty short road. Conrec is all game for it. CC, that town just north of Dan, that's yours, right?
Yeah. So I believe I looked at all these proposals. Yes. This road has gotten all the permissions necessary, and it is with over 300 blocks, so it does need GSM approval. And yeah, that's really all I've got to say.
Okay. Cool. So,
Ward is
any
correct,
objections?
by the way. Because yeah, it's near the junction of the Southern and the Zephyr, so the road numbers.
Yep. Okay, great. Thank you, Vicky. Any objections? Going once. No objections approved. 7B.
Okay, so after doing some research, the settlement that's not labeled, the settlement that's not labeled is Echoes. Echo has given permission, as you see in the comment on the GSM doc.
Yep, that's fine.
And all permissions have been given.
Built it along that road that he marked it as. Then.
All permissions have been given.
Yeah, so permissions are clear. Where is this in terms of relative location?
This
or
is on the
Vicky's-
east side of the server.
This is
The Los
basically the
Angeles.
one that was proposed last GSM with Los Angeles, but instead of going to Los Angeles, it just cuts straight north and then goes to.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So 228, that number looks fine. Yeah, I mean, look, it's not like he's doing any super crazy bridges. I think the only thing is just. Oh no, that bridge already exists. Never mind.
Yeah,
Is that-
exactly.
Okay. Oh, so it's just the extension. Oh, that looks fine. Okay. Any objections for this one? B228.
Nope.
Going once, going twice, and sold. Approved. 7C.
Okay,
Warp
this
rail line
one's
from Central City.
there's a lot. Okay, there's a lot of questionable things with this one. First of all, if you look at the map, the I believe it was the dark gray, the light gray area on the map says above ground, but as you can see,
Sorry,
if it went above ground, it would go through the MRT station. So the light gray area would probably most likely be underground. That's the first issue. The second issue I checked out today was if you see the green line, it goes north of Slovenia through another town to ATC. That town is owned by DJMC. It is Loch Minehead. As currently of the logs, I do not see any. He sent the DMGC a mail. DJMC read it but did not reply to it. So so it's unclear if he has permissions on that or not.
Yeah, that doesn't count as approval. We need a positive affirmation. So.
Apple says, Kitty using Apple Gamer says DHC gave him permission to DM. Okay, so he has permission then.
Okay.
As far as I know, that rail line also passes by Caillou's town at the V9 station, and I don't think he has permission for that.
Yeah, it's that bit that's just to the left.
Oh, Kitty says he retracts that.
Oh.
Okay, so that line to ATC is not cleared then.
Yeah, so, and it's unclear if, so.
Okay, so the other concern that I would have potentially is, I guess it's not really a concern, just a thing of note. I've highlighted that he is actually asking to do IATs on both of the towns that he's circled.
Yes.
So, sounds like I don't know if he would actually want to do any. It looks like he wants to do stuff with the towns in addition to bringing a rail service through. Just trying to lump an IAT in the same request.
I think it's one. Two. He doesn't want an IAT for two. I don't think.
No,
no, he does.
He said it does. I've highlighted it with a comment.
Oh, what the heck?
To remodel it while also making his rails overground.
We could give him permission. I would say what we could do is. And if he doesn't have permission to go if he doesn't have permission at all to go near Loch Minehead, then we can't approve any part basically, because Loch Minehead is in 300 blocks of both the light gray area, the light gray and the green line. Therefore, there would be no stops at all. What we can do is approve one of the inactive asset transfers if he still wants the town just itself, which we could approve one or two.
I would say we could. Let's do the one at P4V4 because that would let him at least build the leg from Central City and build something, and then do the intermediary leg later.
I think that's good.
Okay.
Katie provides some more info saying that 2 is a town interrail is approved to go under back in February.
Yeah. But yeah,
right. This isn't interrail though. This is a new company.
Yeah.
Right. I think
Wait,
Katie was just mentioning that.
Are we giving permission for one and not for two and not one?
I would say 2 for now. I actually know who built one. One is built by Pika Pilot, which is I think we all know who that is. That's JP's friend. So, but they are inactive. But I would say we can start with 2, and if they want to start building towards 1, then we can consider that another time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Just do it one at a time. Just
That
for
makes
simplicity.
sense. Yeah.
Okay, so that is.
Okay.
So give us the reasons exactly why this is being denied.
Sounds
like a lot.
Yeah, so the big one is Loch Minehead. So Loch Minehead, which is at V9, I think? V8 or V9. One of those stations around there is Loch Minehead.
It's V9.
V9. So so Kitty has retracted permission for it to go through Loch Minehead because the light gray line that he's proposing here is within the 300 block exclusion zone. That blocks the track from Slovenia up to town number 1.
Yeah, by the way, I actually started correction. It might be V8. I believe it's V8.
Okay, if it's V8, then the rest of the line is outside that region.
No. If you look, do you see the town under the green line? The closest station is V8, but it's not at V8, but the closest station doesn't have to V8.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
With Loch Minehead, who owns Loch Minehead?
DJMC 2000.
Oh, okay.
Is that the main reason? There's no any other reason?
That reason also, we should note that the light gray area cannot be above ground, at least the way it's drawn on the map, because the way it's drawn on the map, it goes directly through an MRT. So, yeah.
So, but we're granting him P4V4, which is exactly the part where it would go through the station.
Well, we would.
Yes.
I mean, we would say don't break the station, but I think if he wants to have it be an above ground line there, I don't have issue with that.
Well,
as long as he does, as long as he respects the.
Well, you can't really go above ground line without interfering with the MRT. That's the thing, because either it's like floating right above the MRT, which like we've questioned that before with Auto.
Oh, because it's a really wide station there. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So just insist that bit is underground through that town. Okay.
I could possibly throw a monkey wrench in this too.
Which is
no, what's not?
Oh no.
Which is
the bend on the top of the gray line comes real close to AT.
Well, that bend is actually also that bend does not go near AT actually because
that's grazing.
It'd be grazing rather than AT. Also, that line is actually supposed to go straight.
And also,
I mean, straight up. Straight up from the town is part of AT.
No, it's not. Directly north of that is grazing. It's not AT.
Look at the east.
In the east, in the east is AT, not to the north.
Northeast. Thomas, it's outside of your exclusion zone.
But if you look on the map, it's not AT area. But even if he didn't get that perms, he could move that line south because he did get permission from MC Protocol, which I did talk to him, Mumble. MC Protocol did give him permission to go under his town, so he could just go farther south and avoid that area completely.
That's the one at P2V2, yeah?
Correct.
Okay, so that's fine.
Okay.
Cool.
So this is
final, we're basically just giving him
denied because of Lock Minehead.
Yeah.
But the asset transfer at circle number 2 is being approved.
Yes, so it's an IAT at P2V at P4V4, and then the line clearance from Central City to P4V4. Stop there, build underground.
7D.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Okay, 7D. This is a PMWC line. It is trying to cross the bay because there's that little finger that splits out near where the Expo West and Western North lines split. So he's just trying to build. Oh, he's building under an active town. Is the reason he's asking.
So it's that town that he circled on the map. I'm going there because I didn't see that on the proposal. It's really tiny, so I'm just gonna fly there right now. So he's just asking to build under this or over this? Does anyone read that?
Under.
It's kind of.
Are you reading under?
I
don't think that I see anything in the email that
I have highlighted the word under.
That's under the town, but are you talking about the?
Oh, under
the water.
The water he is not specified.
I'm gonna assume he means underwater. I think if we do approve this, we just say it has to be underground.
If you're going under the town, then to go above the water a reasonable height.
Zayden 1 has been offline. Oh, Otto says it's under the water.
And he's involved with. Okay, that's fine.
But yeah, so Zayden hasn't been offline for 3 months, 3 days. I think it'd be fine to let him go underneath this, right?
Yep. And it's a very small settlement according to the screenshot. Has it been updated since?
Okay. It's currently there.
Katie's asking if Apple's going to Rothshire.
Apple, yes.
7C.
Apple does not have to. He has permission to do so from MC Protocol, as I asked him Mumble today. But he does not have to if he doesn't want to.
But he does need to go under P4V4 when he crosses the MRT.
Correct.
I'm guessing he probably will go underground, just because.
That section is underground. Well, that section is underground.
I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm guessing he will, but he is not required to there.
Yeah. Okay, I think then 7D is approved.
Okay, 7D sounds like a yes. Going once, going twice.
Sounds good.
Sold Dragon Bloom. Next, 7.
7E.
This is a 7E. This is a B road, B825 from Skogheim to Westplein.
Okay.
Proposed by Samuel 25. Specifically, we're specifically looking at the red line in the map. The blue and black are for reference.
Yeah.
Okay.
So specifically, the thing that is confusing about this town is that there is the problem. The biggest problem is that if you read the email, it says that the circle town on the map, which was originally built by Captain Lincoln, is now owned by MJP or Puffy, and he has not responded to at least as of this email.
I forgot. I did update the image. Apparently, he did get permission. So the road now does go through Captain Lincoln's old town. Does not divert further west anymore.
Okay.
If he's gotten the okay, that's fine.
I would say the only other concern is just how kind of any reason that it kind of just zigzags all the way there.
It might be just because
I guess he doesn't want to do diagonal.
Well, the thing is, there's no real biomes or other towns in the way, so that's why I'm wondering.
Yeah, because this does not look like it's hand drawn. This looks like it was drawn manually. So yeah. I mean, aside from that, I have no issue.
Yeah, I would say
You could ask Super Samuel right now and say if it's going to be that zigzag. He is in game.
He said he can join Discord too.
He's on a bit of a delay right now, he says, but he is watching the stream, so he should hear this. So, Super Samuel, once you hear this, basically we're wondering, is there a reason your map is so like zigzaggy all over like the map, or is it just kind of like a rough estimate? I guess we'll wait for him to get back.
I would assume it would just be because
Or
it's
asking game too.
because it looks like he's trying to like dodge around a bit of the dark oak forest, and
that would make sense. Rough estimate says.
Okay.
Wouldn't have a problem with that. But...
I mean, I think even if it's a rough estimate, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Within
Okay.
One thing to also consider on this proposal, also in red, is the warp rail part.
I mean, because there's no other towns like nearby, I think it's kind of like I think the warp rail's fine.
Mm-hmm. He said it's parallel and follows the road. Because it is over 7,000 blocks.
So the 7,000. So that again, because it's only really an issue if you're going more than 4 between closest stations, regardless of service set. So if it looks like there are intermediary stations along the way.
Mm-hmm.
He says, so
above ground, mostly the same height as the road, but if there is mountains, it will go underground.
I think that's fine because we've had rail lines paralleling roads before.
That's fine.
And I don't like it. Looks like to be right around or just less than 4,000 between like Estelle and Captain Lincoln's old town, which is the longest distance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'll.
So,
okay, so cool. So approval for both, it sounds like.
7F.
Unless there are any objections. Going once. Going twice. Solves. Okay, 7F.
7F.
After checking out the permissions for that, he has all permissions, including Stratos, because of, you'll see later, which he got permission for Admiral Finlay to do. So this road is actually barely over the limit that's necessary to get a B-road GSM approval. So
that's funny.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
It'll
All
work.
trains were talking to me before this a lot. I made sure it wasn't too bad, so that's why I said okay to it.
Fantastic. Okay, so 431 number looks good. Permissions look good.
Yeah, he's just
Going one.
extending the designation that I built.
Oh, sweet. Okay, that makes it easy then.
Scarborough's in Ward 4.
Great. Okay, 7F approval going once, going twice. Sold. 9B.
9B.
9A is retracted, so 9B.
This is a re-proposal from last GSM, if you remember.
Because last time he was like, I want big airport.
Just for
And now he's like, I want big airport and other things.
I mean, it's the thing is, we can't stop him from using for airports, so I think that's like irrelevant. But I think that it's as long as he shows that
as long as he integrates it nicely. As long as it's not just like I have extra area now, let's go bigger airport. Woo.
Well, he's shown that his recent email. He says he wants to unite all of it together. That's
the town is really close to Titz and Sack, and it's basically indistinguishable already.
Yeah, so I think since he has
I'm
stuff
fine
that
with
he
it.
will try to integrate them, I think there's no real reason to say no.
Yeah.
Like they are semi-integrated now, so I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I
So
think everyone's good. Approved.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, 9B
Alright.
approved. Next, 9C.
He wants a military base in the middle of nowhere.
So that's by North Korea. There's a sign that says that there. North Korea has been offline
Wow, I think.
1 year, so I think it's good. It's just a military base. It's just kind of, it's literally just a flat area with a bunch of tanks on it.
So what does he own, like, in the area, or just nothing?
He doesn't know anything in the area. He says he wants to eventually connect it to a B road he's gonna plan on proposing. So he wants a
military bases semi-close to the road he proposed.
If you go back to 7E and see where it is, in relation to the B road you proposed.
The original proposal had more roads.
Yeah,
but we basically said only propose one.
Yeah, one at a time.
Right.
But
So there was a road that went near that before.
But I would say there's no reason to not approve this.
he said he might consider giving the land to someone else later down the line, but mainly just to connect to that road.
I would say there's not really any issues with this. Again, good.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
90.
Okay, that's fine. 9. Skipping
but not
9D, going to 9E.
Last time on the menu.
And if a representative from the trustee meeting has proposals they want to share with me, please send or give them to me.
Okay, and
Okay, 90.
so for 90, I was taking a look at this early this morning. So the town of Aurora is owned by Supertake. It is in kind of like
They're inactive? I thought they came back.
No, 3 months. Their last time 3 months.
Well, it's just
so there's just a few buildings here. But in his email, he does clarify he just wants it. He basically just mainly wants it to pass a road by it. And if Supertake does come back, he wants to give it back. So I think what we could just do is, like, if he wants to build a road within 300 blocks, just allow the road and just leave this town as it is for anyone else who actually wants to maybe develop it.
Where's the road? Or do we not have a map?
No, it's a planned one in the future.
There's no proposal. The Foot Chicken used to propose. He did have a road proposal through this area, and then we did approve it back then. But Foot Chicken canceled the road. I don't exactly remember the road number, but
it was a B class road, right?
B class something starting with an 8. It's in Ward 8. So
yeah.
But yeah, I would say, like, if he does propose because it says like he wants convenient for proposal for A245 and later GSMs. I would just say, like, when that road gets proposed, just bring up wanting to do a passing by then rather than just claiming it just to, like, have it for future.
But so then if we're not giving it to him, then I mean, at that point, I mean, I don't see why we would even say that, because if Super Tig comes back, then it would be up to them. So I mean, I think we either should give it to them or not, because if they propose a road, they're going to have to ask permission to go by this anyway with the proposal if it's inactive.
I'd probably just say, like, no for now, because, like, just like the road's not proposed, so I guess if they do want to propose the road in the future, then and Super Take's not back, then just propose that as a part of the road proposal.
I would actually say yes instead, because this is just an inactive transfer. If they don't do anything with it, then there's no big deal. And if they say that they're going to give the town back, they can just give the town back.
I guess.
Yeah, he says he would handle the town transfer right away if he needed to.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it.
Okay, so that's yeah, I'm fine. Okay, 90 sounds like I think we are a yes. Going once, twice. Sold. That is the last thing on the official agenda. I do have the proposals. From the trustee meeting, which I will read as follows.
Before you do that,
yeah.
Do you mind if I do Battle of the Builds brings people to the channel first.
Yeah, that's fine. So if you have questions, so if you're gonna go to Battle of the Builds, you guys can go off into your own channel. I'm going to read the trustee proposals, and then we'll go into the Q&A.
Meet you guys in the events channel down there. If anyone who wants to watch, please feel free to join us. Kitty will be streaming as well.
Yay!
Thank you, Chief, for helping me make this the shortest GSM ever.
All right.
We got it in under an hour.
Yeah. So.
I believe
Okay.
the first GSM that Chief is in charge of.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Please keep all future meetings of me leading. Please keep them all this short. Thank you.
I will note that technically the GSM isn't over yet because the Q&A.
Because we got Q&A and
Q&A could go
trustee,
for.
trustee shit to get through. Okay. Well, I want to